Thanks for clicking on the video. Today's video is going to be about boat maintenance and just a few things that I constantly do throughout the year of my season to ensure that I don't get stranded on water or broken down or just stupid stuff that I could have totally controlled and kept from happening. But nonetheless, let's get into this video. First things first, you need to really utilize that dielectric grease that they sell. It's for like $2 a pack. Nobody wants to get that crap on their fingers, but you need to goop this stuff up, especially if you're especially if you live in a wet climate like I do in the Pacific Northwest. I need to re-goop my stuff as I'm looking at it closer. But I have run two AGM batteries. I have a 2-bank charger up underneath here. So I just basically plug into that, and that charges these two batteries. I think it takes about 6-7 hours. Charges it pretty nice, pretty good. I hadn't had any problems with the battery charger. Nonetheless, I see a little bit of rust developing on here. Just means I didn't goop it enough, but I highly recommend it. At least using a pack per battery, and be generous with it as well. Another thing you need to make sure is your bilge pump is in working order. Same with your live well pump if you run your live well. I have 2 live wells in this boat. I do not have recirculator pumps, so I have to pump water into it, drain it, and then pump fresh water into it. That is one of the ways I can keep fish alive in the live well. I have a couple other steroids that are natural steroids that in the form of powder I could put into the water, and it calms the fish down, regenerates their fish coat, slime coat on the fish. So it says on the package, but nonetheless, just need to make sure that the bilge pump is your #1 deal, especially in the springtime when you get some spring monsoons. I'm not afraid to fish in the rain, but I highly recommend making sure your pump's working at all times. And use that dielectric grease as well on all your connections. Make sure they're all tight. I turn these with a pair of pliers, so I don't have to try to use my hands at all. I use a pair of pliers to undo those, so you can't really fidget around with it at all. Highly recommend. Catch me in the front of the boat. Alright, here we are at the front of the boat. I want to talk about this strap right here. This strap I highly recommend it looking at getting if you own a boat and you have a trolling motor up front, a bow mount trolling motor. This strap is designed to be put right here to keep this head down from banging around. This is the brains of your trolling motor, so you don't really want to bang that too hard. But I don't have a problem with that banging around too hard. So in rough water, I've always noticed that this part, the upper part, wants to slam down and just go be all loud as hell. So I got this strap, I bolted it to the deck with washers, nuts, locking washers, all that stuff. So I can simply do this and I can lock this thing down. Whoop. There, that thing is not going anywhere. I have no movement. Eventually I will get another one of these straps and put it underneath here and feed it up and over, and it'll be able to hold this down from moving. Just be extra security for the trolling motor, because I'm not really afraid of fishing in any kind of weather. Rain, sleet, snow, doesn't matter. Hurricanes, doesn't matter. 35 to 40, anything over 35 miles an hour winds, I can't really do it with a 12-volt trolling motor, that's for sure. I'll have to probably upgrade to a 70-pound trolling motor if I want to fish out in 35 or better winds. Nonetheless, I don't really expect to be out in 35-mile-an-hour winds. Next thing I want to show you guys, last year was the first full year that I got to utilize this TH Marine G-Force Grass Goat. It is to keep the grass from clogging up your trolling motor. It is a super cool thing. It's just an added thing. I feel like it does help. I feel like you'll benefit if you have it, and you won't benefit anything if you don't have it. So if that makes any kind of sense. Maybe I didn't say that right, but nonetheless, I feel like I'll benefit with having it. So I have it. One thing I'll tell you about it is not to overturn these 2 screws right here. You will strip them like I have stripped this one, so I have to get a nut and put it on the back of it to keep it stationary. If not, you can easily turn that. Directions say for up to 1/8 of an inch from the blade to allow for the wobble once it gets up to a certain speed. Has a little bit of variance. Nonetheless, that's a super cool thing, so highly recommend you guys looking at that, getting that for your boat. One more thing that makes fishing a little bit easier is upgrading your trolling motor cord. This is a TH Marine cord. It's a steel cable, very easy to install. Highly recommend. Dresses everything off. I definitely like the little foot pad I found too. I think I found that at TH Marine as well, or maybe Amazon. One of them I did. Anyway, that's the few things that I really look forward to is my batteries for my electronics and my electric trolling motor, as well as my big motor. Make sure you got gas. Make sure your trolling motor or your gas motor's up with all the oil changes. Make sure it's running in pristine condition. Don't be afraid to, take another look at it and make sure she's all good to go. One last thing I want to show you guys on the trolling motor is these. Last year I got stuck where I broke a pin inside of here, and it renders the trolling motor useless. So you take a pair of pliers, needle nose pliers, stick it in here, and you're able to still take this off. If you don't have one of these, you usually have a nut right here, and you have to have a little ratchet, a little little ratchet. I used to carry it, quarter ratchet. I think it was like a half inch, something like that, like a half-inch socket. You used to have to carry just to be able to take this off. A pair of pliers would slip off all the time, and you rack your fingers all the time. So they come up with this. I think this is a TH Marine one. They have different priced ones on Amazon, but it's very cool. Eliminates the use of having to have a socket set to be able to take your trolling motor prop off. Why you want to take your trolling motor prop off is because of this right here. You want to make sure you've got a nice straight pin. You want to make sure your trolling motor is clear of fishing line, just like this one is. So you want to clear that off, make sure your pin's all straight. You want to carry a spare pin in the boat with you. I now carry 2 because I was stuck on water and had to leave the lake. I tried to extend my fishing day a little bit longer, and I was able to for about an hour or 2, but it was early afternoon. I had to leave the lake early, so it sucks. So I highly recommend getting one of these. Makes it easier to take that off. I checked that a few times. Sometimes I check that daily, just to make sure. It adds noise to your trolling motor. Definitely does. Anyway, that's the few things I have for this video. hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, think about hitting the subscribe button. I appreciate each and every one of you guys that watch these videos. Thanks again. Swimbait79 out.